just wanted to explain what's been going on, why, and everything like that. So, I went to a Philadelphia regional. I was on Fiendsmith, Azamina, and I dropped after my third loss, or my fourth loss, I think. I got drolled every single game, and, I lost because of droll, and I'm sick of it, and I'm like, I was like, I either gotta step up and decide what I'm gonna do, and so I decided that deck and be on something different. I'm a pile player, so I chose Mermail. Um, you can say it's not a pile deck. It is a pile deck. It plays exactly like how a pile deck plays. I love it. Um, I'm gonna just go over some replays, what I've been doing with the deck. Kind of explain things. You send everything for cost, so it kind of makes this deck insane going second because it's kind of hard for them to negate the things you want to get. So you can like normal send a Dragoons, and then you'll get to search you one anyways because they negated the first effect. I'll show you. Or there's a lot of times where you can just hand rip your opponent to death. But I got the plat today. I started bronze or something. I also hit max level for the qualifiers. Here I'll show you some recent replays. This one. I think you could play, I was on Diva. I think you could play Diva at 1 still, but I don't really need it. Alright. So, I got hit with Max C. Here's Imperm. So Max C, Imperm. And then I droll him here. The reason why I drill him here is because I'm not going to get my search, so I'm just going to drill him in regardless. I have the line for Coelacanth. So I still have the Charmy in my hand, and since I'm not going to be able to use it, I just go for the Coelacanth here. I drilled him so he can't draw. Here, I'll speed this up here. So this is just kind of a line. After Coelacanth, you like, boom, bring back, bring back, bring back, bring back. I think he realized, so he just gave up. I'm going to be able to hand rip him again if I wanted. It's just a lot, and he probably wouldn't be able to deal with it. But you can deal with cards like Max C, and use draw to your advantage as a protection. What's this one? Oh, this one's pretty funny. I don't. So I kind of got the goated lineup. I'm not gonna lie, but I go for the Parolia. He called buys it, so I just fluos. My friend plays Rico a little bit, so I was just kind of waiting for a Glamour, so I asked a Glamour. So here, I actually get Scythe locked, but don't worry guys, that means absolutely nothing. So, send for cost, so what would happen here is even if he would have had something, you still would have been able to go here to go into Poseidra to send something for cost. Probably a squad to bring out Neptibus to keep playing. But as you can see, he didn't have anything. But I'll show you. But set it up so that we can Moon Glacia, rip 2 cards in case he has anything. We can get it, make sure. And yeah, that's enough. These are big ass monsters. Let's see what this one is. I don't even know what this one was. So let's see what happens here. Okay, we're playing heroes. I think I just hand rip him when he surrenders. Like this deck, like you're about to see, this deck is just ridiculous. Oh, you know, just mid combo. When does he give up? I forget. I think after the Trish. But like, he's on 1 card. What is he gonna do about that? He can't do nothing about that. Yeah. 2 turns. See what happened. Probably like barrier stashed him and he gave up. Okay, wait, I get Fluost. Wait a second, I think I know what this one is. So you guys know about Fluost, right? I did mess up here. I probably could have did better. This is when I was still kind of newer to the deck, but I knew I had the stream in hand, so I knew I'd still have something. But yeah, you can play under cards like Fluos. I did an oopsie daisies there, so yeah. But you could have this one. I could have definitely played it better. But regardless, as you still saw, I still won even though I messed up. Alright, let's see what happens here. Okay, so we get Fluos. Fluos and Max Seed. We get Fluos and Max Seed. We say, you know what, let's not let our opponent draw anything here. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. You can if you don't get Menstrual Rip, you can still statue lock. And that was my idea. I just kind of statue locked them. As you can see. It's enough. But yeah, this is when I was still learning a deck, which is crazy because I definitely played that wrong. That I'm so like that's kind of embarrassing. Like those are a lot worse. But as you can see, I only slowly learned with the deck, and now it's like this deck is insane. Squad, I do goons. Like the squad. Oh, I think I know what happened here. Oh, I think I know what happens here. So my favorite thing to do is whenever someone max sees me is to just rip them for 4. Because you have a combo where you can rip for 4. So if you can ever... Yep. I usually link off Moon Glacier when I do this combo because I know that they'll have nothing. So I'll link it off so that I can get more bodies. I'll show one more and then I'll show my deck list. Resonator, okay. Yeah, she calls buys. Oh, this is where I didn't know what Resonators did at first. But, okay, he just plays, like watch. For some reason he's like, I gotta go. Not to be fair, I've never really faced Resonator. This is like me being brand new to Master Duel. I had no idea that this card, because once it left the field, I had no idea it had this effect. Because I just don't read this stuff. But yeah, I was confused. And then once I read it, I understood, and I was able, but you're able to like, here, I'll show you. That thing's unaffected, but guess what? It don't matter. You're about to see why. So I think here's where I was like reading the card and stuff and then trying to figure out what to do, and then I finally figured out what to do. And then I realized I can just make him big, and then if I have really big dudes, I just win. But yeah, I never read that card. That card's actually pretty good because those cards pretty big numbers, and most decks can't get above that 3,000 mark. So here I'll show off the deck real quick. So here's what I'm on right now. The idea is that the only cards you really lose to are, I mean, you do and don't lose to Jewel. Completely depends on if you're able to get her to hand. You kind of want her to always be your first search if she can be your first search. Because if you can just seal a can't, Droll doesn't give it, like, you don't care anything about Droll. The other thing is since you only really lose to kinda Droll sometimes, you lose to Max C and the Fluos is pretty much. We're playing as many counters as we can, which is 3 Droll because you can Droll yourself after searching the cards you need, and then they can't get searches anymore. And then you can just kind of like rip them and get them down to like a more fair hand size. Like sometimes you'll give them like 6 cards, Moon Glacier, rip them down to 4 again, and then Trish them down to 3. And you know, it's like, yeah, they got draws off of it, but it didn't do anything really. You can play through like almost every hand trap. Nib can hurt sometimes if it's paired with another hand trap. Most of the times you can't play through it though. Um, the Charmies, we we lose to them, but so does everyone else. You know what I'm saying? So we play these. You know they stop all of them. Stops Maxi, stop Maxi, stop Maxi. The reason why we play Talents is because you can see right here. Look at your opponent's hand and steal a card. That's ridiculous. Going first. If you get Max Seed, there you can like fidget around with the cards in your hand and just keep searching things without summoning anything. And you can like Moon Glacia to rip 2 off of 1 summon, then Talents rip another card, and then you'll feel like a lot more safe to commit to like 1 extra deck monster because you rip them for 3, and then if you can also get Menstrual Rip, you can rip them for 4 there, which I've done sometimes, or there's times where I'll get like Maxied and I won't have something like I won't have the immediate counter and I'll try and draw into a Droll. And when you draw into a Droll, like, you know, that's just immediately you can just stop them from doing whatever they need to do. Well, that you stop them from not what they need to do, but you do what you need to do basically. Um, I enjoy this list so far. I just was able to get the Dragite, so you weren't able to see those in the combos, but it's a lot easier. There's a line where since you after you hand rip your opponent, they only have 2 cards left, and where is he at? This guy has a goaded effect where he can like special summon, but you can't use their effects this turn. So after you use, obviously after you use Neptibus, you'll use it to bring it back, and you synchro this off with Donna after using Menstrual, and you won't use her effect to bring out Statue unless like, because it really depends on what's going on. Um, I mean, you can get silly with it. Like, there's been times where I'll do an early Trish to banish cards, Donna, Synchro, and then, well, because on my phone I have Dragite, Synchro that and this off into Dragite, shuffle the one with Menstrual back, and then whenever you overlay into the 7, you can reborn her. Or if you didn't use your enemy yet, you can also reborn her, and then you can use her effect to shuffle back one of the cards you banished with Trish back into their hand to statue. So you can still get like you can look at their hand and basically rip the card you're gonna lose to. Like there's a lot of times where I'll do that, and when I look, that's basically how I choose what my path is gonna be. Like if it's a something like droplet, I'm not gonna choose the statue route because I immediately lose the droplet. I'm just gonna remove it from their hand, shuffle it back into the deck off of the Donna, and I'll set up something crazy like an Abyss Dweller, Dragite, Agos. You know, like they're realistically not playing through that. While you also have the setup to Abyss Shrine, send him to grave for cost to draw one, to then reborn him, this guy from the graveyard to shuffle, send for cost. Where's that silly man? This guy, which can then pop a card. So basically, you also have a pop two, draw one in your grave. While you also rip your opponent for a lot of cards. The deck is really good. Um, it, it doesn't have a lot of choke points. It does have choke points. I will say, like, there's certain cards that hurt when they get hit, but if you just you'll like if you guys play this deck and learn it more, you'll just understand. Like for example, there will be times where this isn't the better starter. This is the better starter because you have something like Dragoon in hand, and this is gonna send for cost. And then later in your turn, you can reborn this from the graveyard. Um, because I know one of the things I'll do is I'll do this, send this for cost, and you can add her to then discard him to look at your opponent's hand, and then as soon as you get one more monster on the field, you can then quarrel an enemy, bring him back, and then since you already looked at their hand, you know it's if it's safe or not to do that route. Um, it's just nice. This deck can play through a lot of hand traps. You just have to be willing to play through the hand traps. Don't purposely put yourself in a predicament where you'll lose. That's like one of the biggest problems I had when I first started playing this deck. Is there would be times where I'm like, I'm just gonna do my normal combo line. No, you can't do that. What you need to do is basically, this guy is the GOAT. Super ancient, bro is the GOAT. Coelacanth. Basically what I think, my combo line is Coelacanth, and then you get an enemy on the field. So basically, you just use all these cards to look at your opponent's hand and rip it so that this can safely resolve. And if this safely resolves, you won the game. There's usually not a time after you resolve Coelacanth you ever lose. Um, but that's just what I wanted to explain. I've been gone for a little bit. I was a little devastated after the Philly regionals. So I just wanted to learn a new deck that I just wanted to learn a new deck so that I wouldn't lose the Droll. And now that there's a deck that I can use Droll to abuse the effect that, like, someone can charm me and I can Droll them and then just rip their hand apart. Just punish them for charming me. That's awesome. And I don't lose to Droll anymore. Always make this your first search. It does not matter. It does not matter. Do not, if it cannot be your first search, do not do it. You have a lot of ways to search her first. He can search her first. He can search her first. He can search her first. And then keep this card in your hand until you know it is safe to use it to bring out him. And basically, if you do that, you should be a-okay. And then another thing, you get to look at your opponent's hand. You know how many times you can just face like certain decks and it's just like, oh, I just make a Abyss Dweller and I can just pass and I win. I mean, obviously you're not going to do that. You're also going to rip 7 cards from their hand because you can just do that, but um you can put, most people play one Quarrel enemy. I've been on 2 just because, like, follow up, usually you'll have follow up, but there'll be times where I'll mess up combo lines or I'll get ashed and then I'll forget that I got ashed on that certain effect, so I don't have that card in my hand anymore while I was like planning out the line. So having an enemy for the follow up to bring back Neptibus from the grave has been nice for me. There is another card you can play if you wanted. It is It is her. I don't have a UR craft. Otherwise, I probably actually would play her. Her effect is just during your opponent's turn, you can send one card from your hand to the grave. You can add one more card to your deck to your hand. So basically, if you have a hand trap and you don't want the hand trap, or for example, you have a hand trap and it's the only card in your hand, but you have her in grave, you can use her effect to discard the hand trap to then add either him if you have him in grave. If you don't have him in grave, you're just gonna add heavy infantry, and then you can, well, no, sorry, that's not to use the draw effect. My fault, my fault. That you use her effect just to get that search. Then you're gonna use her draw effect. Whenever now you have a pretty much a quick effect pop, draw one. Um, so she basically can change anything into a quick effect pop, draw one, which is pretty good. Um, I appreciate anyone that's watching this. Thank you again. I'll probably be making videos here about like platinum to diamond matches. I'm diamond on my phone. I'm trying to get the master right now. I just play on and off when I can on there. Uh, but I did get a royal. Um, I might work on other decks. I'm not sure. I just wanted to show off this one, but we'll end it there. Thank you, everyone. Please have a beautiful day.